About 3 weeks ago, I started getting screeching from my rear brakes when I was backing up. About 2 weeks ago, it started happening all the time. So took a look at my rear brakes and saw I was down to the scratcher. Focus, there we go. So started looking around for brake pads and rotors. You can see this pad's got decent lip on the backside, so it looked okay looking through the backside. But on the front side, obviously, time to replace. On the rotors, you can see there's quite a groove taken out of that inner lip. Inside the parking brake area looks okay, but the front of these rotors, the hats look terrible. Actual surface looks okay on this one. However, on the passenger side, you can see the outer half definitely has some discoloring from hot spotting. So I knew it was time to replace. Looking at options online, everything factory was discontinued. Most people recommended DBA for the rear brakes. I went with the DB 1521 SP because I'm not going to be doing any tracking, but I wanted a little better performance than just regular street pads. For the rotors, got DBA 4929S. They are the 4000 series. The brake pads, you can see street performance, and the rotors are nice painted on the hat, so hopefully that won't rust as bad. And then they are slotted and vented. Kind of hard to see in there. I'm running the front wheels on the rear and the rears on the front, and spacers on the back to bring everything out. That was actually that way when I bought it. Eventually the calipers will get redone because they are looking pretty haggard. So the rotors come nicely wrapped. Do not eat packet. Vented and slotted. They don't come with the little parking brake adjuster cap, so you'll want to transfer that from your old one, which is behind my wheel spacer. Tools to get the job done will be first a 21 millimeter to get the lug nuts off. Mine has the wheel spacers, which is a 17 millimeter. Then we will be pulling the pads out. So you'll need to get these little cotter pins pulled out, center punch to knock the pins out that are holding the pads in. And then on the back side, you've got that bolt right there in the center of the screen, which is a 17 millimeter. I have these long flex head ratcheting 17s to pull that off, and then we'll pull the old rotor off, slap the new one on. I've got a couple of various cleaning things, some anti-seize, a little mini hammer, screwdriver for setting the parking brake, pry bar for pushing in the pistons and the caliper, and a couple of brushes for cleaning off all the old nasty brake fluid and some brake clean. With the wheel off, you will pull this wheel spacer out. Take that off, and we will want to clean that surface up to get rid of all that rust. Pull these two pins out. See if these ones will come loose. Pins, you'll want to clean those up too. Throw them on the floor. Don't lose this. This goes behind the two pins and keeps pressure on the pads. And I usually pry on the pad to relieve some pressure. It's pretty rusted in there. These got kind of a lip on them. So down at the bottom center is where you will adjust parking brake if this is stuck on there. But we'll pull caliper off first. Okay, so two caliper bolts. I'm gonna have this top one right here, and the bottom one is gonna be a little bit hard to get to because of the parking brake cable, so you don't have a lot of room for a socket. So a wrench is going to be better on that one. And I'm going to crack these babies loose. Mine are tight. Ugh. Again, not very great straight on shot at those. The bottom one. So you can see just how little space you got. Gonna have to maneuver your ratchet in there. Mine very tight and rusty. Take both of these off. See if we can get it loose enough to pull the rest by hand. Nope. Okay, caliper bolts are out. So this can be tucked way back here so it doesn't hang by the brake line. See if this comes loose. Yep, it does. So we're not hanging up on the parking brake shoes, which look okay. Do have a little discoloring inside the parking brake. Maybe it was driven with it on. It does have that same lip groove there. It's hard to see on camera, but it's definitely got some discoloring. I need to save this guy out of there. Okay, so this will get transferred over to the new rotor. But after we get it on and adjust for the parking brake clearance, then we'll install the plug. Do a little bit of cleaning. This part's pretty difficult to do one-handed, but you'll just want to get all of the brake dust and crap that's built up in here cleaned off however you can. See all that crap that's in there. There's some old like pad grease stuck in there. So get all this cleaned up. I'm using a little nylon brush so it doesn't scratch anything, doesn't damage the rubber boots around the brake caliper pistons. Okay, you really want to get this surface clean so your rotor doesn't sit on there at a weird angle and cause you some brake fade. It'll make the pads kind of skip off of the high spots and feel like you got pretty poor performance. So get whatever you can and clean some of that rust off of there. I like to put the rotors on backwards so you can spray them down. Have good access to wipe the shipping grease off. It's called Cosmoline. Okay, and we'll flip it around. Okay, that slides on and off really easy. So I know I need to adjust the parking brake, which is I'll need to rotate this around and down through here and get it lined up. Down through here you will see the little star wheel that you need to adjust. So let me pull the rotor back off and show you. So when you're adjusting the parking brake, this is the little star wheel that you need to turn. And you'll need to find out if going up with it, like this, I'm gonna do it sideways so you can actually see if that is spacing this. So if you're getting more threads or less threads. Kind of see clean threads in there, so I know that's going out. So when I put the rotor back on, I need that to go up to tighten, to expand the parking brake shoes outward. Because when I use the e-brake now and I'm pulling the handle up, it goes all the way up before it even tries to grab. So I'm tightening that up so I don't have to pull it up as far. Okay, so I spaced it out a little bit. It takes quite a bit of effort to slide. A lot easier with two hands, but slide this on and off. You can feel the brake shoes just barely starting to grab. It's really hard to turn by hand. So I think we're good on parking brake. Okay, so now I will do some cleaning, get this back on, get the caliper bolted back up. I will push one of the pistons in, slide one pad in, push the other piston in, slide the other pad in, and show you how that goes together. Okay, got the surface pretty clean. I don't want to take off too much because I don't want to warp it or make it uneven. So I'll throw a very, very thin layer of anti-seize on there. Get it slapped back on here, throw the nuts on, torque those down, and move on. But don't forget this plug. Okay, wheel spacer's back on, cleaned up. Now we need to put the caliper back. Something that is very, very important is making sure that the hose is not kinked. I just watched a recorded live stream. If you guys know who Gabby Downing is, she does some drifting, but she was doing brakes on her Ford and the line was all twisted up and you could barely see it in the background. It was way up at the top. Mine is kinked down here, so you gotta make sure that it's not pinched, kinked, or anything else. Make sure you get it oriented back in the same space so it's nice and free. Okay, let's bolt it up. All right, caliper is bolted back in, and I like to use my square pry bar so it doesn't damage the new rotor. Press that in. So you can fit your brake pad in there. Alright, that's where I grease my pads, tops and bottoms, where they slide in and out of the caliper, the face where the piston runs, and the two holes for the pins. Okay, got the pins cleaned up. You'll want the cotter pin hole facing out so that you can actually put the cotter pin through. Get that slid all the way through. Hopefully your back pads aren't blocking you out of the way. So you can see the hole there. And I like to put this in place. Feed your second one through really hard one-handed. Obviously that needs to go behind pin. You can still see the hole. May have to rotate it, but that's in place. Okay, cotter pin in the hole there. Hard to do one-handed in poor lighting. Seems like it spun around a little bit on me. Better angle there. Better angle there. All the cotter pins in place now. The pad spring is firmly in place, not bouncing around, not wiggling around. Now we just need to throw the wheel in. Don't forget to torque your nuts.